Alright everyone, so little update. I am not sailing at the moment. I am back in Bretagne. So we finished our journey with the boys fucking like 2 weeks ago now, a little bit less than 2 weeks ago. I have been on holidays with my parents and it was a week in Provence, close to Marseille, Aix-en-Provence for the ones that know that. After the holidays, I went to my grandparents, which is close to Switzerland, in Besançon, close to Besançon, in the countryside of France. And then I took a train to Rennes. So I'm back in Bretagne, much more above than where my boat is at the moment. I came to visit someone here that I met along the way. It's going well, and I basically did a tour of France. I did like a full tour of France. That's crazy. So I'm making this video. It's a special episode 2, I will call it. And the special episode is just to give you an update on what is going on next, what we will do next, and what we have been doing as well, and the challenges we have been achieving, or like the challenges we have been tackling. Yes, the challenges we have been tackling. I'm excited to go on. For now, I'm blocked. The weather conditions are not looking so good in the Bay of Biscay. There are massive waves, which I do not want to take. And I'm also just taking a chill pill and a break. So it's good. And anyway, I'm waiting for my new crew. My new crew will be someone I met in Paimpol as well, during my sailing course in April. He's called PE. The guy is a fucking legend. The guy is a beginner sailor like me, but he is definitely more advanced in terms of knowledge as he's older than me, and he has been living the track life for so long already that he knows a lot about motors, and he has a very interesting skill set which will be very helpful on the crew of the Waterschutter. And yeah, I'm really excited for him to come. He will be there from the 12th of September until the 4th of October. So really excited. Peo, if you see this video, really looking forward to have you on board and to see you again, my bro. With that, let's go on to the next video. Let's go. Bye. Alright everyone, so I wanted to show you in a nice drawing or in a nice animation the first part of the sailing journey that we have achieved. And this was the greatest journey of my life. I ain't going to lie. That was 40 days at sea, sailing, repairing, meeting new people, seeing new places, experiencing different kinds of currents, entry to ports, tidal currents, waterlocks, waves, wind, thunderstorms, yeah, just wind coming from all kinds of direction, trimming the sails, learning a lot, doing night navigations. Yeah, what an adventure. That's been a great journey. And I created this little animation to show you where we started and where we ended with the first crew. So let's play it. And that looks like this. So we went from Amsterdam to Belgium, then the northern part of France. We did all the English Channel, then the English Islands, Bretagne, and then down, and then we crossed the Bay of Biscay. And then we ended up in the Médoc area, which is close to Bordeaux. And basically it's been 1,000 miles. So 1,000 miles is about 1,800 kilometers. It took us 40 days to do 1,800 kilometers. This journey with the car, I did it already. You can go from Amsterdam to this place in something like 10-12 hours or something. It took us 40 days with the wind. So our average speeds in terms of kilometers would be between 10 to 13 kilometers. If we have the currents and really a good wind with us, we could go up to 15 kilometers maybe. But nothing crazy. If we do 15 kilometers, that would be the max. But between 10 and 13 kilometers was what we really did. And we did some stuff. We didn't just kept on sailing. You could do much better if you're into like rough sailing and regatta, and you know, if you want to really go for it, you could do it in way less than 40 days. But for beginners, which we definitely were, it's not a bad timing, in my opinion. And anyways, it's also nice to take your time. Sailing is also about taking your time. It's not about racing or whatever. We didn't race against anyone. It was for our journey, our pleasure, and yeah, for the sake of having a great adventure. And it's been a great one. So that was the best 40 days of my life. One of the, yeah, I cannot even really put words on it. You saw all the videos for the people that have been following us. It's been wild, and I hope that everyone can experience such a journey in their life, because for me this really gives meaning to my life. It gives purpose, and it keeps me make me want to go on. Basically, I really want to go on. As the journey with the first crew came to an end, a new one will start, and I will show you what the next plan is. So now we are in the notorious Bay of Biscay. We are roughly here, and what we want to do is to go down. So we are gonna go down the coast of southern West France, down to Donostia, San Sebastian, Bilbao, and then we will just go along the coast of northern Spain. Then A Coruña, kudos to my grandma. She was born and raised in A Coruña, and then she moved to France when she was 20 years old. So I do have roots in La Coruña. And then we will go down here, down the coast of Portugal. I have to say this part makes me scared a little bit, just because there are a lot of orcas, whale killers attack. They are attacking the rudders of sailing boats, especially my length, which is a 10-meter sailing boat. So that will be a rough one. I hope I will not sink the boat via whale killers. That would be fucking crazy. But let's see, I'm willing to take the risk. So we'll see. And then we will go down the coast of Portugal. We will be in southern Portugal, then back to Spain, southern Spain. We will pass the Strait of Gibraltar. And from there, we will enter from the Atlantic Ocean to the Mediterranean Sea. And then we will be in Marbella, Malaga, and go down, we will go up, Formentera, and then Ibiza, and Mallorca, and then I am not sure what I will do here, but the plan, the final journey, is to go to Corsica in Porto Vecchio. So that's the end goal. That's where my grandma and my sister live, and yeah, that's where I want to put my boat, probably work there next summer. That's still a long way to go. The thing is, if you would cut, it would take you less long, but you cannot cut with a sailboat. You have to go all around. But that's also part of the journey, so that's gonna be super cool to experience new countries. We've been in France for a long time now, so I'm also ready to go in the more Latinas country. And you know, it's the month of September, so the more south you go, the warmer it will get. So at least I will have an Indian summer, we call it in France. And yeah, I definitely don't want to have the months of September and October here in France. It's gonna get cold, so I would rather be here in October, end of October. And yeah, so the goal in terms of time would be to be in Corsica in November, mid-November. But I have to see how realistic that is, if I have to do any repairs. Maybe, who knows, I will get blocked in Portugal or southern Spain, or maybe I will be here, dead at the bottom of the ocean, swimming with orcas. Who knows? We will see. I will post some videos, maybe swimming with the orcas as well. I will see if they have Wi-Fi down there. But otherwise, if everything goes well, end goal, Corsica, the island of beauty. And I will say hello to my grandma and my sister, alive and well. And we'll be living on my sailboat over there for a moment. As I was saying just before, I wanted to basically show you where we have been, the challenges we have overcome. and what the English Channel, aka the infamous French Channel, is looking like in terms of currents and tides. That's really interesting. This is one of the part of the world where there are very, very strong tidal effects, and this you have to take into consideration. Those tidal effects are creating very strong currents, and you don't want to have the currents against you in some places, that I can tell you. Let's zoom out a little bit. So this is windy. This is the weather forecast app, and you can see that there are a lot of currents around the world. And in the sea here in the English Channel, you have something called tidal currents, which is here. And tidal currents is really basically there are not many places in the world. There are not many places in the world where there are tidal effects and tidal currents. So if you can see here in the Mediterranean Sea, there is pretty much no tides and no tidal currents. And yeah, this is really interesting to have sailed this part of the world, because I would say that as a beginner sailor, this was a part that I was really afraid to sail, because you have to take a lot of things into consideration. And you have those hot spots like here in the northern part of France, where if you go in time, you see the current is moving, and depending on the color scale, the like if it's purple like this, you have quite some knots to take into consideration. But let's go back to currents, because you have to see the currents. And I will get this one before. Yeah, so this part in the northern part of France, it's really tricky. So it's called Cap Grinet, which we have passed just here. And depending on the time of the day, you have 3 knots of currents. In some places it will not even show, but it can go even more, but it doesn't show on windy. And say we want to go south west, well then today at 10 on Wednesday we would have the currents against us. So this would not be a good idea to leave right now from Calais to Boulogne-sur-Mer, which we did. So you would have to wait a little bit, say 3 in the afternoon, and then wait for the currents to shift the other way. Yeah, so if you see around 3 it's shifting, but at the moment there is quite some weird stuff going on, because it's only going one way. But here it's shifting, you see, it's going down. Or it's neutral almost. Then it's much more easy to sail basically. But yeah, if you have also here Saint-Hélier, which we did. Here we have Saint Anne, Saint Peter's Port. We've been to those 2 islands, and here there is the notorious Raz Blanchard, where the currents can also be very, very strong. You can see here. So on a certain point we had it against us, but we also had it reverse with us that way. So if you have the current with you, then say your average with the wind 5-6 knots an hour, you can add almost 2 knots of currents, and then you're really flying. But then it's really not for a long time of the day. And then if your sail is 12 hours, then you will have it against you. And if you can enter here and you're too close to the rocks, and then you don't have any wind, you have a motor failure, you're gonna sink the boat against the rocks. That's pretty wild, but we survived. It was really rough, this part, I have to say. We went to those English islands, Saint Anne and Saint Peter's Port. That was really funny to be in England while we are so close to France. It's totally England, while it's closer to France than it is to England itself. So that's pretty interesting. And in terms of currents, we also have been here, which is the last part, and this is the Estuaire de la Gironde. So it's the river is coming all the way from Bordeaux, and then it's going into the ocean, and we had to be here at the end. And if you want, like you can see here, there are very strong currents as well. Like it doesn't show really much here, but you can see here sometimes it becomes purple. But on certain places, if you have the Navionics boating app, the currents can be much stronger. So when we entered Le Verdon-sur-Mer, we actually had 4 knots against us. So we were going 7 knots with the motor. We had to put the motor on because this is a really tricky spot. So even though the speed of the boat was 7 knots, the speed over ground, so the actual speed, was only 2 knots. So just to do this small part from here to there, it took us like an hour and a half, 2 hours. That was crazy. Yeah, that's really interesting currents. If you look at the map, the area, for instance, the Gulf Stream that you can take back if you want to go from the US back to Europe. That's a nice one to get. You can see here it's really strong as well. Super cool stuff, like really super cool stuff in my opinion. You have to learn a lot about those. But yeah, compared to the Mediterranean Sea, it's really nothing. It's really chill. And now we have the notorious Bay of Biscay. At the moment, we cannot sail because you have the waves that are pretty big. That's the current situation right now. There was a tornado in the sea which created massive waves. So my boat is not that big. It's quite big, but not that big. But at the moment, there are waves of 5 meters. To step on board on my boat, it's like only about a meter. So where we are sitting, when you see us on the videos, you can see that we are sitting, and that's about 1 meter from the sea level, so from the water line. And imagine if you have waves of 5 meters where you're sitting. It's pretty wild at the moment. And you can see if I move it here, it's really coming. So tomorrow, today, on Friday, it's not gonna be pleasant sailing. It's gonna come back to normal situation. See, 1.7 meters it's already pretty nice. It's like not nice, but it's like it's rocky, you know. And then it's coming back. There is another wave coming on Monday. Here there are waves of fucking 7 meters, 8 meters. That's gonna be crazy.